Find your way to the real America. Leave your big cities with their urban problems. Drive along the highways, then off of them into God's country, up into the rolling Appalachian Mountains to these highlands of West Virginia. And then find a surprise. The town dump. Burning one moment, smoldering the next. A reminder that ugliness can be anywhere, everywhere people are. Or drive through North Carolina and watch as this city of 100,000 burns its waste. Or visit the redwood country of Northern California as a lady disposes of her garbage. In New York State, an open dump. There are thousands of them in the United States. More of man's cast-offs clutter the western desert. Open dumping is a health hazard. The Environmental Protection Agency of the federal government has organized a campaign called Mission 5000. The purpose, to improve the quality of our environment by eliminating 5,000 of America's dumps in an effective 2-year project, soliciting the assistance and cooperation of thousands of local communities. A typical American dump. It's located near Glen Burnie, Maryland, just outside Baltimore, in Anne Arundel County. Until recently, the average American has accepted the cheapest and easiest means of disposal, usually simply a dump. Today, the mood has changed. The public demands a better environment. New systems must be devised to control the quantity and characteristics of wastes and provide efficient collection, creative recycling of materials which can be reused, and proper disposal of the residue. Established programs must change to provide these improvements. More discards arrive. But look, the dump has been converted into a sanitary landfill. Maryland recently passed a law requiring all counties to develop a comprehensive plan for solid waste management. Because of its previous poor performance, Anne Arundel County was the first to be cited. They chose to convert the dump into a properly operated landfill, where refuse is compacted and covered continuously. The credit goes to the Maryland legislature, the state health department, and officials of Anne Arundel County. Incidentally, if the county had failed to cooperate, the new state law contained a hard-nosed provision which would have permitted the state to do the job and bill the county. Most states do not effectively regulate open dumping or open burning of solid wastes. Here at a recent meeting of the Minnesota State Pollution Control Board at St. Paul, officials are implementing a new anti-burning law. This was D-Day, dump day, before the Pollution Control Board. After D-Day, communities could no longer burn refuse in the open. The discussion focused on what scores of counties and hundreds of towns and cities would do. The flow of solid wastes would continue. Each community would have to devise a plan and put it into effect. In many instances, hiring specialized personnel, buying land and equipment, and increasing taxes, or establishing new special service charges for waste disposal. The board set procedures to be followed and sent them to all communities. Most states have not yet moved this far. Moultrie, Georgia is famous for its tobacco, cattle, hogs, poultry, cotton, peanuts, corn, pecans, watermelon, and dump. But Moultrie's dump is being eliminated. 2 petitions from local residents caused the Georgia Department of Public Health to place the city under orders to cease and desist within 30 days. The city has known for several years that eventually it would have to develop a better system, but repeatedly failed to take action. The 30-day notice is finally forcing action, but also introducing complications because of the short time allowed. Moultrie decided that a sanitary landfill was the most practical and economical alternative available. After evaluating several possible sites, this 100-acre tract was chosen. It is quite close to the city and has no drainage problems. Moultrie's buying it, will install access roads, and will eventually move the city's shops and garage to this location to centralize public works operations. But the old dump is going to be difficult to close because it is infested with rats. If the daily supply of garbage were simply cut off, they would leave searching for food and might invade nearby homes. Therefore, the local health department will undertake a systematic rat poisoning project at the old dump before the new landfill is opened. Then the piles of refuse and ashes will be compacted and covered with earth. Meanwhile, the trash is getting higher and higher. Moultrie is under orders, orders that are difficult to obey quickly. As Mission 5000 encourages thousands of communities to eliminate their dumps, the communities may encounter a variety of problems. Let's consider a few typical ones. Here, a small town is contracted with a local private operator to run its landfill. He has plenty of equipment and personnel, but the techniques are new to him, so he doesn't know exactly what he should be doing. He's careless in grading to handle runoff water and causes water pollution. He uses insufficient earth cover and litters the surrounding area. It takes a knowledgeable operator to run a good landfill. Meanwhile, a nearby community, which has been dumping and burning for years, has decided to clean up. It will start its new landfill on the same site as the dump. The city fathers naively believe that if you dump garbage in a hole and cover it, you have a sanitary landfill. So far, no detailed plan has been drafted, no equipment purchased, and the mayor is still quite vague about just how to do it. Raleigh, North Carolina will never be called a Mission 5000 success story because this city of over 100,000 people has been operating a sanitary landfill for 6 years. Here too, some practical problems. Dust and a sandy soil, which is not ideal for cover material. Raleigh's landfill is located close to the central city and adjacent to a new freeway. The fill will bring a low area up to grade with a highway and will be made into a park when completed. Now the case of a community that went only halfway. This city of 30,000 people obviously has an excellent sanitary landfill, good equipment, skilled personnel, adequate cover material, and plenty of space. But only part of the city's solid wastes are being landfilled. The officials just can't bring themselves to bury the big stuff. Material that burns easily, tree limbs, leaves, and furniture, and big items such as refrigerators are still being hauled to the old dump. So the city has all the expense of a sanitary landfill and most of the nuisances of a burning dump. It's a state of mind, a habit. The city hasn't yet accepted the concept that it needs a total disposal system. This old dump has been closed and covered. In attempting to establish a new facility, the community could have requested advice from the state solid waste officer or the regional representative of the Solid Waste Management Office of the Environmental Protection Agency. Instead, they did it on their own, opened a landfill, which is really little better than the old dump. Cover is applied only when somebody gets around to it. State or federal engineers would have made recommendations on equipment and procedures, perhaps arranging for operator training to get the project off to a good start. If Mission 5000 is going to be a success, 5,000 communities will have to get organized. Heflin, Alabama already has. This huge tract is the site of an old burning dump, now eliminated and covered. Today, Heflin and Cleburne County have undertaken an area-wide effort by starting a sanitary landfill. Jointly, they bought equipment. The county hired an operator who admitted he didn't know a landfill from a hole in the ground. But he quickly learned the basic tricks of the trade: a small landfill face, proper compaction of the waste, daily complete cover, no waste motion. The state solid waste officer calls him a jewel. Next, the county will start a container collection system, which promises to reduce roadside dumping and allow small rural dumps to be eliminated. Nearby, Troy, Alabama has closed its out-of-town dump and is filling this huge gully only 4 blocks from City Hall. It used to be called Buzzard's Roost and was 40 feet deep. The key personality here is a city councilman who is a civil engineer by profession. When Interstate 75 was built through Adel, Georgia, the contractors purchased rights to strip material from nearby property. As a result, this 20-acre gravel pit was left in the middle of an industrial park. Adel's investigation showed that the pit was a good landfill site. It took less than 4 months to put it into operation. Water pollution may result when drainage from open dumps reaches surface streams or groundwater supplies. Here, a new landfill is being constructed in an area where geological studies indicated that surface water would leach through the buried refuse and carry pollutants into the groundwater. The solution is to install an adequate drainage system to bypass surface water safely. Solid waste landfilling is an engineering project requiring careful design. If you think that landfill techniques are restricted to the sunny South, think again. It is the accepted method in the colder sections of the country also. Solid wastes are collected in all weather and must be disposed of in the rain, snow, and even during periods when intense cold makes it uncomfortable for operators and freezes the surface of the ground. Mobile, Alabama once had one of the worst dumps in the country. Mobile now has a sanitary landfill which handles 400 tons a day. The cost is about $1 a ton, including amortization of equipment. But $1 a ton is infinitely greater than nothing per ton, and the city budget is feeling the pinch. Officials are reluctant to impose a special refuse disposal tax, even though this is standard practice elsewhere. They have increased charges to private operators who pay fees to use the site. Here, a private operator is seeking approval to open his own landfill to serve his commercial customers. He has obtained land use rights and needs only official sanction to start operating. The result of this conference was that he can operate only if he lines the bottom of the pit with compacted clay to prevent pollutants from oozing through to the sand below. Public and private operations can be successfully coordinated. The choice of whether a community wants to do its own solid waste collection and disposal or contract it out is an economic and political question, not a technical one. Lawton, Oklahoma, one of the first Mission 5000 success stories. May there be thousands of them. Lawton last year. The people were starting to object. The Comanche County sanitarian was critical. The Oklahoma Solid Waste Chief indicated that action was overdue. The Environmental Protection Agency regional representative in Dallas suggested corrective action. The pressure was beginning to build. But Lawton might have just drifted on for years if the Oklahoma legislature hadn't stepped in. It passed a law prohibiting open burning by cities of over 10,000 population by January 1st, 1971. Lawton was put on notice. Members of the city council started to look at other landfill operations, investigated possible sites, and authorized the city attorney to obtain land purchase options. Lawton today. Dump closed. On January 19th, just 19 days late, burning finally ceased. They would have made the deadline except for a few problems which had to be solved systematically. The City Council considered 6 landfill sites and held public hearings to select the best. Numerous nearby residents vigorously objected to having a dump near them. The sanitarian satisfied some of the objections by establishing landfill specifications and operating procedures, a fence, and beautification. Finally, this site was selected. It is 2 miles south of the city limits and is centrally located in the county. Other problems? Equipment was not delivered on time. Good operators were hard to find. But today, the Lawton Sanitary Landfill, second in the state of Oklahoma, is operating well. The site is expected to last 12 to 14 years. After completion, it may be converted into an industrial or recreational park. Yes, Lawton did it. Made a quick switch from an obnoxious burning dump to a sound system of solid waste management. Thousands of communities throughout America have a comparable problem. With today's increased emphasis on the environment, each town, city, and county will have to face up to its true responsibility to be a good housekeeper. In just 2 years, Mission 5000 should eliminate most of America's open dumps. The ultimate goal of the Environmental Protection Agency is to provide all Americans with acceptable solid waste systems. It sounds easy, but actually it requires hard work and money. You pay for a clean environment with your energy and your dollars. But the question is, can we really close those dumps? It depends on local leadership, not just officials, but the citizens themselves. Mission 5000 is a now thing. Look around at your environment. It's later than you think.